Hey, 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 how's everybody doing? Happy Sunday to you. I am back again and a live here in the Crafty Bunch. And this is a really great event. I think a lot of people can relate to this because a lot of people are into farmhouse, farmer, anything to do with rustic and outdoors and nature. So today in the Crafty Bunch, we actually have another spotlight event, and that was Stephanie with Hunny Bear and Creates. Hunny and Bear Creates. Okay, Hunny and Bear Creates, not Honey Bear. Hunny and Bear Creates. And I'm assuming that might be her and her husband. I did, Stephanie, kind of go to your page and check out a little bit, and I saw that your hubby's on there a lot. So I'm thinking maybe he crafts with you somewhat. I'm not sure, but she is relatively new to the Crafty Bunch. But I like what she's doing. Said she does a lot of rustic and grungy stuff. So thank you for putting that me in there, Angie. I appreciate that. And Nicole just finished up, and she did the coolest little. I loved her little frames. Her little. I love anything that's multiples and mixed media and stuff. And I love the little fruit. That was a great idea, Nicole. I think she's still finishing up right now. So I'm going to give a couple minutes for that to happen. And I'm just also very grateful to be here in the Crafty Bunch as usual. And yeah, so it's a happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good this Sunday. Today I am going to be, this is one that even though I like a lot of farmhouse stuff, I really kind of wasn't sure direction. I actually racked my brain until yesterday afternoon to kind of come up with how I'm going to put it all together. I knew that I wanted to use some clay molds. I bought those a long time ago, so you're going to be seeing that. But hey there, Miss Stephanie, how are you? Like I said, this is her spotlight idea, and she is the spotlight presenter today. And I actually wrote it down, Stephanie. You're on at 3:45 today, so you guys make sure that you're always following the Crafty Bunch, the free group, and refresh your page, and make sure you catch Stephanie, and and obviously say hello to her and join her up and follow. If you are watching me and you don't see that little live red button up in the corner there, then that is after the fact. And if you hit the in the comments, go hashtag replay. I really appreciate that. Okay, now, so most of the semantics are out of the way. I think I'll go ahead and start my project, what I'm going to be working on today. So like I said, the theme is actually farmers market. And I'm going to be doing something with farm animals and wood and all this sort of thing, and adding some clay and some different things to it. So hopefully, hey Mary, how are you, sweetheart? It's good to see you. I enjoyed you guys' little spa thing last night, by the way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take you down on my table because I think you can get a better idea. I've got so much mishmash going on in the back, and it's easier to see with my cameras and such here. If you are a first timer, by the way, I'd really love it if you would follow me and all the ladies in the Crafty Bunch too when you see their page names. So I appreciate that. Okay, let's go ahead and get switched over here. All right. So what I got going on here is I found this mold. I mean, hand sculpting these things would take a lot more time than using a mold. So I actually found this really cool, fun mold. I've always loved the stacked animals, like stacked chickens or stacked. I love vertical structures. You guys might know that if you're familiar with some of my work. But I saw this little mold and I'm like, I couldn't resist. I actually bought it for this particular event. But I wasn't really sure like what I wanted to put it on and how I wanted to, because there's lots of ways you can put it on a surface. But I did go ahead and this is the clay I'm working with my finer clay today. And let's see, let me get me pulled up here in my phone so I can see everybody else. Hey there, Cheryl. How are you? It's good to have you here. Amanda, Michigan, my first time watching. Hey, you're a first timer with the Crafty Bunch? Oh, right. That is awesome. Go ahead and make sure that you watch us all and just refresh your screen after each presenter, and you'll see a lot of really cool people. Hey, Laura, there for Urban Diverse. How are you, girl? Good to see you. Okay, so like I said, what I'm going to do here is I'm taking these guys. I've already used for, like I said, for those who don't know, I'm using this particular Sculpey. It's a Super Sculpey. I use this because it's firmer for molds. I was going to use air dry, but I didn't really have time to actually, and there's some smaller pieces in here, that might like crack because air dry doesn't hold up when it's really teeny pieces, especially on the chicken's legs. See how small those chickens? So the polymer clay you can get really, really thin pieces from. So anyway, I already got that done, but I wanted to show you the mold because the mold itself is pretty darn cool. And of course, you can use these individually or do whatever you want to them. All right, so I've got my little guys already baked up and molded out. So we're going to be attaching them to, and that's what I'm going to do a little work on here, and then we'll try to get put it all together. So got my little paint thing set up here. What we're going to do is I have 3 separate pieces from the Dollar Tree. I got, you can find these there, just individual pieces. I already took a little bit of umber. It's just basically umber. You're going to see me do that with the other pieces. And I pre-stained, not stained, but I just painted it down to look kind of like wood stain. And oh, thank you for sprinkling there, Miss Laura. I appreciate that. And then this was another little, everybody's seen these little guys at the Dollar Tree as well. I've got a screw in here because I'm going to pre-drill the hole. I'm going to show you what we're going to be putting out, assembling that in a minute. And then I've got these guys here, these little package of crafters square. I found these. Hey, Amanda, how are you? Thank you for sprinkling, honey. I really appreciate it. I've got these three little panels here. Okay, so I'm basically going to put them like this, and I'm going to attach them to that board that I've got here, and they're going to all stand up like a vertical structure. But first, what I need to do is go ahead and paint these guys. I want to get a little start because I know the time runs out so quick. I'm going to paint these guys to kind of look like this, and then I'm going to add some extra paint on them. But I want to kind of give them a basic stain at first, and then we'll go from there. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to get into a couple of questions here about some farmers markets and see if and kind of have a little talk about this. Oh, one thing too is when I was doing this, I had to make sure I literally went through all my scrap pile of wood stuff. I've got a huge bin of wood things, and I had to make sure that all my little guys would actually fit in the square. I was desperately, like I said, I had a lot of different ways to go, but I want to do something a little different. Oh, and I also have this really cute bucket that I'm going to repaint and make it kind of like a galvanized looking bucket. And I've got some little, show you these guys. I've got one, I hand rolled, made some of these little tomatoes. Uh-oh, they're still raw. See, they're rolling off my table. But I am going to make one tomato here and show you how I put the tomatoes together. And they're going to go inside the bucket. So I got all that to do. Can I do all that in one square 45 minutes? I don't know. We'll see. All right. So thank you out, Miss Melanie. I appreciate that. It's good to see you as always, Darla. So the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and paint these little guys and get them out of the way so that I can start getting everything assembled and attached. Let me get my paintbrush here. So what I do with this, like I said, there's a zillion of stains and different ways to stain out there. I go the really inexpensive method. I have stain itself, but it usually takes a little bit longer to dry. I just use watered down. I usually use the burnt umber. Sometimes I use nutmeg brown or things like that. Or you can use grays. And then I just water it down a little bit and put a stain coat on. And just, you can actually add a little bit of extra water if you want, but this is just a really quick, inexpensive way to stain or to get that stain effect if you don't have any stain hanging around, or you just got maybe one little project you need to do something with. But also make sure you always go with the grain of your wood when you're doing something like this. Brush with the grain. And I'm going to stain both sides because these are going to be sitting up vertically, and I want to make sure that the back side's looking good, and you want to get your sides too. Yes, I think it's going to be kind of cute. Like I said, I was sort of racking my brain as to how to actually, because you can put it on any kind of wood, any kind of round, any kind of canvas. I mean, there's so many different ideas you can do. I even thought about, doing it on a cup or a bowl or plate. Plate would have been kind of cool. I never thought about that actually. Just not thinking about that. Maybe I have to do something on a plate. Because this clay can pretty much attach to anything. All right. Yeah. By the way, Miss Melanie is up after me. She's with Painting Crafty, and let me tell you guys, you definitely want to hang out and see Miss Melanie. She is so creative, and she does amazing things. And she does her little draw-alongs and all that stuff. So I have a lot of admiration for Miss Melanie and all the really fun things that she does. All right, like I said, there's one. I usually try to get all this busy work out of the way off camera, excuse me, because it just takes up a little bit of time. And, but at least I just got most of it done. I just got these three little panels to paint. They're going to be a little discolored, but actually I don't mind that. It kind of gives more to the rustic feel of it because I want it to be kind of a weathered look. And this is like this is like really lightweight balsa wood, so it soaks up real good. If you get it real wet, kind of like I did here, you can actually take a baby wipe and take it off, but I'm not going to do that because I know it'll soak in by the time we're ready to use it. So I'm just go ahead and do it like that. Okay, so now let's have a little discussion about farmers markets and markets in general. So let me ask this question: who actually has farmers markets near them, or any kind of outdoor, like a flea market? Something like that. And do you enjoy going to those markets? Do you visit them regularly? Have you ever been a vendor at one of those markets? I actually have when I lived in Lakeland. another little Floridian town here. I did that for a while, and it's all right, but it's a lot of lugging around and setting up and breaking down. But anybody ever, do you guys got like going to farmers markets? Or do you have any local farmers markets in your area? And if so, what's your some of your favorite things about the farmers market? What do you go there for? Do you go there for the food? Do you go there for the crafts, the art stuff? Do you go there for just to get out of the house? I mean, is there particular things you buy? I actually went my little town here in Florida. We have a Friday night what they call artisans market every Friday night, and I actually was out with my friends this particular Friday, and I bought some creamed honey, and I have not bought creamed honey in forever. And he's a local bee grower, bee farmer, I guess you call him. So I got some, yeah, years ago I was at a vendor at the farmers market in New Hampshire. I sold bare root bearded, oh, irises. Oh, yeah, that's nothing. What is your favorite thing? Is it flowers? Is it the fruits and veggies, the food? Is it the thing, or is it just a little bit of everything? I mean, is there something particular you like to go to the markets for? I mean, just to get out of the house and just enjoy the smells and the thing. And like I said, I have one every Friday night here in our little town, and it's so nice. It's really like the highlight of the town. So I'm trying to find the grain on this one. I think I see it over here. I like the food, music, art. Yeah, yeah. Some of them do have music. Some of them have live music. Mine actually, the one I live on Friday nights, they do live music. They have live bands. It's a college town, so they have an open courtyard with really cool live bands out playing music at night, and people are always got their dogs out. It's a big dog town, so every Friday they always bring their dogs out, and they have an open brewery, and it's a really fun place to. One of my favorite things to do on Friday night around here. Yeah, the pool, play actually pool. So yeah, I'm glad. Anybody else have markets? I enjoy people watching. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's actually my husband's thing. He likes to just sit and hang out. You know, most guys, I don't know, but most guys I've ever known are not huge on shopping per se, but they enjoy, just the people and hanging out and being around the atmosphere, especially when the weather's nice. And this one that we have in our town is actually in the evenings, but they do have um, a Wednesday morning market too for flowers and stuff like that. I enjoy people watching. Yeah, I do too. I know my dad used to love to go to the malls for that. Like my mom would go to the malls and she'd drag him to the malls, and that's what he'd sit and do. He'd sit on the benches and hold her bags and watch people. So, but yeah, farmers markets are great. Like I said, I've done the vendor route myself, and it was a lot of work. I did pretty good, but it's just a lot of work for the a 1 day market. So I ended up moving out of that town, but after a while I was doing it all by myself and hauling and setting up, and I was like, this is so much. I've had enough of this. All right, so anyway, so I've got these little guys painted. Like I said, those are going to dry like super fast. All right, so now that that's done, every year here there is a big thing called Hessel Fest. Okay, or feast. That's feast. Excuse me. So Hessel Fest, is that kind of like what that is, Laura? A big like open market area. You said it's once a year. It's cool. So it's kind of nice to actually have it every week here if you got a market that's like that. Okay, so now that I think I've got, well, for a minute, I got all the painting out of the way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and assemble this and show you kind of like how I did it. I had a little pre-mark here because I thought I was going to put it down below here to support it, but I realized I can't because there's not enough wood here to drill into with a hole. So I just basically, pre-drilled a hole here. I had to go twice because my husband had to help me a little bit to hold it. But I've got my screw already pre-drilled here and here just to kind of make it quick. I pre-drilled a hole because this is very thin wood, and you don't want to take the chance on the wood splitting. So it's good to take a drill bit and actually drill in there first before you drill your actual your screw into it. And I want to put a little extra glue on there for support because it is going to be sitting upon itself, and I don't want it to be too wobbly. I think it'll be okay, but let's see. I need to get a little bit of this. Get some hot glue on here. And this might even dry before I get the darn drill going, and I want to put a little bit of my Gorilla Glue on it too. Like I said, it might be a mute point to put the hot glue on there, but where is my Gorilla Glue, guys? I'm going to do that. Oh, here it is over here. Here it is over here. Yeah, with everything and anything that it, yeah, exactly. All right, so I'm just putting a little bit, like I said, the hot glue is probably not a real smart idea because it's going to be dried up by the time I get this on here. But I did want to put a little extra of this on here just to kind of give it some extra support. And let's see if we can get this puppy drilled in without too much problem. I do, oh, my husband for my birthday, he got me a little baby drill. Isn't it cute? And it's got its own little bits and stuff with it. Love it. All right, so let me see. I'm going to go with this side. This is the nicer side. Like I said, I got my hole pre-drilled. I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me put my camera up a little bit more. See all my mess back there now. And I think this is the right hole. All right, so let's give this, guys, let's give this a shot. Let's see if I can do this with one hand and no man. I got the skills. Ooh, I'm going backwards. Let's go ahead and drill again. Okay, look at that. Cool, man. Got her done. Ta-da, just like that. So this is 3 pieces from the Dollar Tree. You guys can do that. Just get you a long one of these little poles and a bunch of these little guys and some of these, and then we're just going to attach these on here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Well, I think I'm going to put my farm animals on first. Do I do that? Because they're going to be painted differently. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait a second on this and actually give it a time for that glue to set a little bit. And I do need to see here how I'm going to place them because there's going to be 3, and I know one's going to go a little bit above the other. It's not going to sit all the way. But I think it's going to be okay like that. So, yeah, that's enough in the back for the top one. I think it'll look okay. Oh, I need to make sure my grains are, probably should make sure my grains are going all in the same direction. Maybe not, though. It might look cool to have one turned around. That's, like I said, when you're doing something, you got a grain on your wood. So sometimes if you want to do, turn it so you can see a little better light, you can actually do the grains all going in the same direction if you want. I'm actually going to put some other paint on this too and do it this way, or you could turn one of them and have the grain going a different way. All right, so right now I'm going to set this aside and I want to go ahead and I'm going to attach, now I guess I need to do that. I'm going to attach my little farm animals to these pieces, and then we're going to repaint it all a little bit and give it some zhuzhy. Far vegetables, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was going to ask too, who's definitely your hero? No, let me see. He's a keeper, even a dog show. Yeah, I need to catch up on some comments. Hold up, guys, here. What am I missing here? I get to looking down. Set up, breakdown, and oh, yeah, when you get home, I know you're exhausted. Even a dog show. He's a keeper. One hand and no, oh, yeah, one hand and no man. You got it, Mel. I did it. I did it. I used to be pretty much of a tool chick, back in the day. I was able to, I put up drywall and flooring and concrete and all kinds of crazy things. Oh, I know what I need to do before I attach these. Yeah, that's what happened. That's going to take a second. I'm going to go ahead and attach these because let them sit. And then I got my little bucket. I need to paint the little bucket too. Glue. Where did I do the glue again? All right. So yeah, I'm actually doing a little bit of both. I probably don't really need to do the hot glue per se, but I will put a little bit on there because it makes it a little bit quicker. So I'm just taking I like to use this little, it's kind of like E6000. It's the Gorilla Glue. It seems to work pretty good. I think it dries a little bit faster than E6000. And there's a zillion types of, we could use wood glue or anything. Once this polymer clay is actually dry, it's hard, so you can use pretty much any kind of glue you want. Let's stick a little bit on there for just GP, why not? All right, so put that on there. Try to center it the best I can. Just eyeballing it. I hope I don't burn myself with that crazy hot glue gun. The one thing I try to be careful about too that really annoys me, I don't know, it doesn't, when you guys are gluing things, do you get annoyed when you see like your shiny glue, like something seeps through the other side? It always bugs me. I always want to make sure that you can't see the glue. All right, so there's one. And let me see, the grain, going with the grain, I guess I'll do. Okay, here's the piggy. Put the little piggy on. Oh, I'm your hero because I can drill with one hand without a man. Sometimes I've had moments in my life where I've lived alone, and you just got to do it, just get her done, as they say. So I actually built a tiny house and lived off the grid, did all kinds of crazy stuff. I mean, I had my husband in, but I built a tiny house almost entirely by myself. Well, it was a shed I converted into a tiny house, but I almost did everything except for the drywall. I even did the electrical. I had somebody walk me through that. Yeah, so those are things that I don't care to do anymore. If I could find somebody to do it, I'd rather find somebody to do it than me do it. But yeah, sometimes you just do what you got to do. All right, so there's the little piggy. Now let's get the chicken on. Now this little hen, I'll tell you straight up, these little legs are so teeny. Oh my gosh, I actually was able to get them thing, but one of them kind of broke on me. But I put some little glue on it and got it put back together. So this one we're going to add this, and we're going to add the farmhouse. Actually, the little banner sticks out, but I think that's kind of cool. I could have actually modified that and cut it down, but I like the fact that it kind of hangs out past it a little bit. So yeah, that's what we're doing with that. I don't think I put hot glue on that last one on the piggy, but or did I? I don't remember. I said sometimes you get to jabbing and you're not really paying attention to everything you do. I'm not even going to put it on the little feet because they're so teeny it would seep all the way through. Yes, I'm mad about the glue. Oh, the that Gorilla Glue. Is that what you're talking about? You like that Gorilla Glue, or are you talking about another glue? All right, so let's see if I can get it kind of even. And I don't like to make, like I said, if you get too much glue back there, it'll get gloopy on you and then it'll kind of squish through on the other side, which really annoys me. Okay, the last one on here. Like I said, then we're going to kind of put some other little paint coats on here and get it painted up a little bit. I do have my timer on with my 5-minute warning, and I do have my giveaway tools set up. So if you ladies are familiar with that, you want to hang tight, I'm going to give you a hashtag word, and we're going to run the little giveaway tool. And I got something to put you on the list for an Amazon gift card. And if you're not familiar with me, then like I said, just hang tight and I'll show you what that's about. Okay, so I got those done. Now, like I said, I got a lot of things to do. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Good to have you, darling. Good to have you. Okay, so I was like, this is kind of cute in itself, but it's kind of like, I need a little something else to go with it. So I found this little bucket. I think this was from Easter. I don't even know where it came from. It just showed up on my shelf. So I'm going to put a little paint this over here, and I'm going to try to paint this up the best I can to look like a galvanized bucket, which I think I can do. I think I got the skills for that. First off, I'm going to start with, and then I'm going to put the tomatoes actually in the bucket. I think it's going to be kind of cute. The tomatoes are like my laying in bed last thing going, oh yeah, I should do that. That looks really cool with the tomatoes. My glue gun's leaking. I need to put something underneath it. Okay, so let me get a brush here. This is just the Mineral Wavery. You can see I've definitely used it. It's been around the bush a few times. But I'm just going to go ahead and put this first coat on here, just because I think that the chalk paint helps adhere. I mean, you can sand and all that kind of stuff, but for a crafty thing like this, it's not going to get handled too much. You can just put the chalk paint on top of this metal, and it'll hold up well enough for like a little display piece like this. Obviously, if you're doing something that you're going to handle a lot, you would need to have more steps involved. You would definitely want to sand your metal down and maybe even use like a metal-based paint or something like that. But I think it'd be fine for this project. Okay, so get that coat on there. I am going to paint the inside a little bit because the inside of it's going to show. I'm going to put a floral foam inside here to kind of lift it up, because I sure as heck don't want to make 15 tons of tomatoes in this little thing. I mean, as it stands, I ran out of my red clay, and so I'm going to have, but I left enough to do one tomato to show you guys how to do one tomato. One tomato. I know that song. All right, so I'm just going down about halfway. I don't feel I need to go all the way because, like I said, I'm putting the floral foam in there, and I'm going to glue it in. You're not going to be able to see that. But I do have this little guy too, the little handle. I'll paint that sucker. I'm getting paint all over my hands. You guys know that can happen sometimes when you're getting kind of crafty. All right, so we're just going to let all that dry for a second, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do that tomato, and then I'll go back to that finishing that up for a second. All right, I definitely have to clean my hands because I have paint all over it, and I don't want to get paint all over my red tomato clay. So are you guys doing okay this Sunday? Everybody having a beautiful Sunday? A nice Sunday. Went to church this morning. Real tired though. Just kind of drug out from the week. I think I'm going to go take a nap or something, watch you guys, and just kind of chill for the rest of the day. Maybe bake some wings or something like that. Okay, so I talked about the markets. Did anybody tell me like what they like? What is their favorite thing about the markets? Like, what do they like? Do they go? Do you like to go there and buy things regularly? Like, is it the veggies? I know that Melanie did mention that she likes the music and the crafts and thing. But does anybody regularly go to a farmer's market or just any? I love going to the art markets. You know, the outside like art festivals and stuff like that too. Okay, now the tomatoes. And Lena, if you're on here or if you see the replay, I do apologize once again. I still have not seen your tomato. I promised her a tomato. I was going to make her a tomato, and that's an inside joke. But anyway, so here's my little fun tomatoes, and they are made out of clay. I have not baked these yet. I was just rolling these and getting these ready while I was watching everybody. But I do have enough clay to show you how to make one little tomato, okay? And I'm going to have to get some clay because I don't have enough tomatoes to put in my little, in the top of them to fill them up. So I'll have to run get some clay and do that. Now I got this clay, by the way, guys, if you want to just play around with it, there come these little teeny, like 2-ounce packages that you can get at your Dollar General, not the Dollar Tree, the yellow sign, Dollar General. It's called Crafts Market or Market something another, and they're real sticky clays. You do need to use a little bit of cornstarch with them, but they come in a variety of colors and they're kind of fun. I get these because they're real inexpensive, like $3.50 a little pack, and you can take these guys and just color blend them. Matter of fact, that's how I got my green here. I put the blue and the yellow together and got a little green. It comes in browns and whites and blacks and all that. So it's a good little start if you want to just try working with a little bit of clay and getting some. And I use these for like little small detail and coloring. You know, and like I said, they're pretty soft, but you can just add the cornstarch with them. Okay, so basically I just rolled it. That's all I did. And then I took a stylus. Okay, I'm putting a little bit of hole right in the center here to kind of put my top of my tomato like that. Then for the little leaves, all I did is I took a little pinch, like a little pinch here, and I just kind of squished it and kind of rolled it a little bit. And you know, because tomato leaves are kind of gnarly looking. And then what I'm going to do is take that little guy right there. You can see this. It's kind of small work. And I just pushed it, you know, I just kind of attached it down onto it. Nothing real crazy about that. I just attached it down to it and kind of make them kind of flat and gnarly and make them kind of so they lift up a little bit. You guys can kind of see that. Okay, so that's all I did. That's how you make a little tomato. Hi, Pam Mead. How are you? Thank you for sprinkling. I really, really appreciate that. All right, so I'm just going to put a few more on here. I know each tomato, when you pick them, they've got what you call it, different leaves, and you know they all come out a little bit differently. Sometimes they have 4 or 5, and sometimes they have more than that. But usually I just put like 3 or 4 on here to kind of give it a little interest. By the way, let's talk about veggies. Who's a veggie person in the house? Who's a veggie lover? I am a veggie lover. And can you tell me your favorite vegetables? I'm curious to see what kind of vegetables you guys like to eat. If you like vegetables, I love it. I used to be a vegan. I owned a vegan restaurant, so I still eat meat these days. But for many years, I did nothing but vegetables. So I tell you, even as a kid, I was always a vegetable person. I've never met a vegetable I didn't like. I actually have that on a T-shirt. You're a vegan. Oh, okay. I did not realize that. Well, good, good, good. I'm like I said, I live with a Mexican who's not, and I could easily be if I was disciplined enough. But I eat meat, but I still eat all my vegetables. Okay, so there's a little tomato. Okay, that's basically it. And like I said, you want to kind of gnarl the little things up. You don't want them to be straight flat. You want them to kind of look like a little tomato head. All right, so these, like, I guess these, well, in comparison to this, they're supposed to be like, size wise like regular tomatoes, but they look like a cherry tomato in our proportion size of holding them in my hands. But like I said, I'll need to make more of those. I have to bake these, but I'm going to set them in there hopefully if I get that far and show you what it's going to look like on the bucket. Now, um, your favorite is tomatoes. Okay, good deal. Tomato salad. How do you like to have your tomatoes? You like them raw? I'm from the South, so people like to grow a lot of tomatoes, and we would have tomato sandwiches. It was tomato sandwiches with nothing but mayonnaise and bread and tomatoes. Some people eat them on the side. They slice them and just put them on their food or whatever. Okay, so I've got just a real quick base coat on here with that chalk paint. Now I'm going to go ahead and add some other colors on here and see if I can get that galvanized look real quick. Look at my time. Time flies when you're having fun. All right, so in about, I've got 15-ish minutes. Let me see if I can pound this out quick. And then I want to I still got to paint my other guys too. Get this bucket done. This is why I have to do with prep work because there's always just too many things going on in my world when it comes to trying to make a project. I don't seem to do much of anything that's just quick and simple. Sliced with salt. Ah, I got you, girl. Got you, girl. Matter of fact, I'm going to use my sponge dauber for this because it'll give me some extra texture. Which, if you ever look at a galvanized bucket, it does have texture on it. So we're going to just texture this up real quick. Sliced with salt. Okay. Does anybody like to make their own tomato sauce, like for pastas and things like that? I don't think I've ever actually gone that far. Of course, like I said, being a restaurant owner, I know how to do it. It's just one of those things that I don't take the time to do because it's lazy. But some people like to, they boil the tomatoes and they can them and do all that kind of stuff. I basically, I eat tomatoes and a lot of things. Salsa is a biggie around my house because, like I said, my husband's Mexican. We make pico de gallo and just actually put them on just about anything. That and onions. Oh my Lord, I live off onions. I can't do anything without an onion. Some people don't like them in their food, but I know we do. I cook with a lot of onions, guys. Yeah, you do spaghetti sauce with the fresh tomatoes? That's awesome. That rocks. I really love the idea that somebody made the fresh tomato sauce. You should can some of that and send it to me. I'll buy some from you. All right, so like I said, I got a little bit of coat here. Probably going to have to put the old heat tool on this one and get her dried up because I do have a couple of layers. I've done a galvanized look before, but it's been a while. I'm just kind of winging it off the top of my head. What am I looking for? I'm looking for that little thingy. Oh, here it is. My little handle. The handle's not going to show too much, but I did need to put a little something on there to make it look. I can't keep it purple, It's like it would look weird for lilac. Okay, oops, I just touched the inside. I mean the outside of it. I probably should have done the inside first. When I was younger, I grew up 48 tomato plants. Oh my goodness, canned and stewed tomatoes and tomato sauce. Okay, so do you still do that? I don't know. I think the older I get, the less work I like to do with that kind of stuff. I was so much industrious even 10 years ago. I just turned 62 and I'm like, you know what? I cook. I try to do something within 30 minutes, because I actually cook for some clients of mine. And then I come home and I got to cook and I'm like, and I'm the only one in the house that cooks. So I'm like, sometimes I just get a little overboard with it. I know you guys do the cooking shows, and I'm like, I could easily do this, but I don't even know if I want to do this. I don't know if I want to cook anymore. I cook a lot. Okay, let me put my heat tool to this real quick. That was hard work. How do we ever do it? I know. Hold on, guys. Let me dry this up. It's already kind of taking shape a little bit, just like that. It almost looks pretty galvanized in itself, but I'm going to put a little silver on it. Okay, but I am going to put a little touch of silver, and then I think I'm like metallic silver, but I am going to have to take it down again. But that's kind of like, what you do. You add a few layers here and a few layers there. Oh, canned tomato juice too. Oh, wow. Now I have a juicer, like a fresh vegetable juicer, and I've done fresh tomato juice. Yes, with cucumbers and carrots and all that. Matter of fact, there's a juice bar in this little town too. And my friend and I, we all got fresh juices the other day too, which was kind of nice. Beet juice and all those kind of. Anybody else like the juice? All right, see, I'm adding a little bit of that metallic on there just to kind of bump it up. But then they don't really look that metallic-y. They look more like aged, but there's a little bit of that on there when you do it. So I think it just kind of adds a little something to it. Then I'm going to go over it once again with probably a little bit of, maybe a touch of brown or the gray again, and kind of tone it down. But I want to put a little bit of that silver on there. How much time do I got? Oh my lordy, time's a wasting. Time's a wasting. What did I say last night? Wasted time is time worth wasting, right? Right, ladies? Did I say that last night? So what you got to do is just take your time, and some days you just got to chill, not do much of anything. Sometimes I know us ladies can get busy. We're on the go all the time. Speaking of canning and cooking and housework and whatever else you got to do in your life with kids. I mean, I got grandkids. My one daughter's grown, but I don't see them as much as I normally would. But there we go. See, guys, it's kind of taking on that whole galvanized look, all right? Okay. Yeah, I know. I know. I see that, darling. And I am going to try to paint these guys up real quick. And so that, let me just put this on here. I think that's all I'm going to do for the bucket right now, simply because I'll probably end up putting, like I said, a little bit of brown touch on here and then taking some of the gray and going over again. But you guys get the basic idea of how you can paint something to look more like, whatever color, silver, metal, all that sort of thing. All right, so that's aside for now. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to get these guys painted up. I did want to add some extra colors on these real quick. And what I was going to do is kind of go with, once again, I'm going to go with a chalk pink. And then I'm going to try to get them assembled. Okay, I'm going to put them up on my board here. And I'll probably zhuzh around with them a little bit more after I get off here, because I just know how time goes, and I like to add a little something. Like I said, my tomatoes are going to have to go in at the end once I get them. See, I'm using the white. Oh, no, that's the wax, Kim. Good Lord. It's a good thing I saw that. I need to grab my plaster. You guys can't see that, but I actually have a rolly chair. Just roll right over. All right, so I'm going to use some ivory. I think I'm just going to ivory. I have ivory and plaster. They're real close. I can get the dumb thing off. Here we go. Muscles. All right, there we go. All right, so here we go. I'm just going to kind of throw some on here real quick. Then I'll put my distressing medium on it and zhuzh them all up a little bit. But I did want some of that brown. I gotta watch that little leg there. I gotta fix that leg a little bit better. I did want some of that the brown to show through on the back. That's why I did that. And then I'll go ahead and I'll actually put my brown distressing medium on top of it too once I'm done. I'm doing a very fast job here, guys, because I'm almost at that point, okay? Because I did want to actually throw some aqua on here as well. A little bit of touch of blue. Let's see what I got. I got 10 minutes, and in 5 minutes, like I said, my little giveaway tool will pop up that area, and I'll tell you what the actual word to put in and whatnot. All right, so that's that. Now I think I might actually take a little bit off though. I want it to give it that old vintage look like everybody's doing these days, and I kind of like that too. I've always loved distressed stuff anyway. I was reading an article about something about how everybody used to, it was kind of it was a blog about how people are doing distressing, how they buy something new and they make it look old. I love wearing holey jeans, and my ex-husband used to look at me, he goes, why would you put holes or wear holes in your jeans? When we were growing up, my mom used to put patches on. He used to patch up the holes in our jeans. I'm like, well, it's kind of a thing these days. I've always kind of liked holey jeans. He's a little bit worn out. Hey, Miss Ashton, how are you? By the way, like I said, as you know, we're coming on here, you guys. Ashton's in the lineup too. All these girls are phenomenal crafters and very talented, and the Crafty Bunch is an awesome group to hang out with and explore all the wonderful things you can do. And you can get involved in it yourself if you are a crafter. You can contact any of us and tell you a little bit more about that. Okay, I'm gonna let those dry, and then I'll add some more to them. Looks like I need a little bit more on him, though. I don't want him to be so, he don't need to be so beige. He looks naked. He needs some color. And like I said, Miss Stephanie she's with Hunny and Bear Creates, and she is our spotlighter today. Oh, I need some paint here, guys. She's our spotlighter today. And yeah, so she does a lot of grungy and aged kind of things as well. And I know she does, I saw that she does like a Friday night date night with her, and I think Lois from Wild Child Mercantile get on there and do some stuff together. And it's always good. I think it's fun to have to craft with a sister. Lydia and I have done that. A couple of the ladies that I know have done that in other groups, so that's kind of fun to do too sometimes. Get on there because it's somebody you can actually look at face to face and talk to. All right, so like I said, this is a very rough coat, you guys. Very rough coat. Okay, I do too, Laura. I don't know if it's probably just the time frame with you guys being there and in England. You know, I don't know if there's a way we could kind of work that out. Maybe, I don't know. Do time frame works. Okay, like I said, this is very rough, guys. I will totally fix it and add more colors. But right now, I just want to try to get it on the board so you guys can see. I'm just going to glue it on there. I think that the glue will hold well enough because they're lightweight enough. So let's see what we can do here with this. I'm going to put some aqua tones on here and age it down a little bit more, and I'll have it all zhuzhed up after by the end of the day. I'll be able to show you guys what it's all like. So here's the actual board that we're going to put them on here. I think I'm going to lay it down. It'll be easier. We're going to start with the cow. He's the big. Oops, down here. We're going to start with the cow. He's the biggest. Put him like that. Okay. Just put a little bit. Oh, I need to do this little roller glue first. Uh-oh, I got me a hot glue string going on there. Love those, right? And don't you love it? That's the one thing I hate about this kind of glue. This stuff gets so goopy. And it wants to, I'm just going to put it all the way up. I got to do it all the way up. It wants to clog up in the thing, and I'm always having to poke a, what do you call it? Like a paper clip or something in there. All right, and I'm going to rub a little bit of hot glue on here too. Why not? These guys on here. All right, so this should be pretty quick as long as I can get them fairly centered. Okay, and then here comes the piggy. Like I said, I'll have to finish these up on the board, but that's not a problem. I can do that too. And let's get the chicken up there. Chicken. We'll give it a second. Then I can lift it up. All right, and in the meantime, let me see. I've got 6 minutes. Okay, when my timer goes off in like a second. But we're going to let that sit for 1 second before I lift it up. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing here with my bucket. So what I did is I've got a piece of floral foam. The floral foam's going to go down in here. You know, I made it really high. I actually turned it upside down so I could see the shape of it to make it easier. And you know, this stuff is kind of dense, but it is soft at the same time. I don't want to press it down too far because I certainly don't want to have to make a whole big pile of tomatoes. I've already got a few that I got to make. Okay, stop. That is my 5-minute alarm, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and give you, Amanda, ain't that the truth? Oh, let me see what you guys saying. Pre-recordings. Yes, and I can do. Yeah, you can do pre-recorded videos. Actually, I can do that with the platform that I use. Okay, guys. Hashtag word for the giveaway tool is hashtag. Oh, hold on, Kim. Let me make sure. I always forget to put that in there. Okay, it's singular. Hashtag market. Go ahead and put in hashtag market in the comments, and then I'm going to run my giveaway tool, and somebody's going to win a $5 Amazon gift card. So hashtag market, go ahead and do that now. We got 5 minutes. All right, so there. Now I'm going to go ahead. I think I can lift it up now. The hot glue should be settled enough to do that. Hashtag market. All right, so you guys can see kind of what I got going on here. I will definitely recolor this a little bit and make it kind of funky. You know, I mean, more the colors I want. But here's my little, let me get this out of the way. This is ugly. Here's my little bucket. And then, oh, the cow's going to be hiding a lot. Now I have to put the bucket somewhere else. But I still like the bucket idea. I'll figure that out. But I'm going to set my little tomatoes up in here. So they'll be sitting in the bucket like that. Okay. We're going to get floral foam on them now, but I don't care. That's fine. We're going to have floral foam on them anyway. All right. So you guys can see how I'll do the little tomatoes in there. Make those sit up kind of cute. Zhuzh it up. Okay. Hashtag market. Everybody get their hashtag in. Okay, so you guys get the general idea. They look like they could either be strawberries or I thought about doing apples, but that's kind of more indigenous to fall, sort of. But I think I went for the tomatoes, but anything red, you know, strawberries would have been cute. But anyway, so there's my tomatoes. I will fill that thing up and get it all filled up with the clay and then get this all zhuzhed up. I think it's going to be kind of cute. Okay, so let me go ahead and change my screen back up to me. And then we'll run that tool, guys. All right, settings. Oh, wait a minute. I need to do this part first. Let me get me up here. Integrated. Hello, how are you? Okay, so let's run the hashtag the tool. I've got 3 minutes actually. Good. I'm kind of from Northeast Georgia, liking this project. Well, thank you. Who is that? Let me look at my phone here. I can see you on my phone. Sometimes they come in at different times. I don't see you from North Georgia there, but I'll go back and look at all the comments. Anything I miss, guys, I will go back and do some commenting and whatnot. Okay, let's run this tool, guys. We got like 2 minutes. This is, like I said, it's a giveaway tool that StreamYard uses, and it's really fun because it keeps me from having to write names down and all that happy stuff. So hopefully you guys can see it. I'll make sure you can see it on your screen. Okay, you guys can see that. Now let's go ahead and run it. Everybody got their hashtag market going? Please work. Sometimes it doesn't work. Why is it not going to work today? This is streaming. Oh, no, don't tell me it's not going to work. Why is it not working? Hold up. Let me see if there's something going on. Hashtag market. Okay, market. Oh, right. Okay, let me try it again. Start collecting comments. Why is it not letting me draw? Hashtag market. Dang it, guys. This is annoying when it doesn't work. It really bugs me. Okay, back. I got it. Farmers market, hashtag market, start collecting comments. It usually should come up with that little draw thing. It lets you draw it, but it's not going to do it. So I'm sorry, but what I'm going to do is like I did before. Last time, if this didn't work, I took the fifth one in line. This time I'm just number 3. The third person that commented hashtag market, I will go through the comments on my end and I will pick that person. I'll put you on the list and I will make an announcement on my page. And then I will let you know privately. And then you give me your email address and you go. But I'm sorry it didn't work. Sometimes it just glitches out like that. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this, and you can see a little bit some of the things that you can do with clay, and all the fun things that you can achieve with it. Like I said, the cow's kind of showing. I might make another step down or something to kind of so you can hide the cow so much. But I think it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute, and it's farmers market. Farmers market. Okay, guys, like I said, Miss Melanie Lamb, I know she's on already, and I want you guys to go over there and show her lots of love. And she has amazing projects. She works a lot with different materials and sticks and all kinds of cool stuff. So keep refreshing your phone, see everybody, and make sure you join me and all the other girls. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Have a great rest of your Sunday and a good week. I'll see you tomorrow. As a matter of fact, I'm in another group tomorrow and on Tuesday.